that we had to step up our burr. First from a 1.5 we went to a 1.75 burr. And after doing a proper job of rotablation, we went on to do pre-dilatation, and we did pre-dilatation with a 2.75 and then with a 3 millimeter NC balloon. We went up to high pressures, did a thorough job of preparing the vessel, and then only then did we go and deploy our stent sequentially, did post-dilatation. And you will agree that this result would not have been possible if we had not used the rotor. Now, this third case is a gentleman who underwent CABG 2 years ago. Unfortunately, all his ground vessels had occluded, and we had to treat his native vessels. And he has severe native vessel disease, and you can appreciate the amount of calcium present in the left vein and the LAD. So we first tackled his RCA, and after tackling the RCA, did we go to the left side. Now, tackling the left side was a bit of a challenge because of the huge chunk of calcium which was sitting in the proximal part of the LAD and which would not allow our wire to cross. However, with gentle maneuver and with the help of a fine cross microcatheter, we were eventually able to pass our wire. We took our microcatheter, switched our run-through wire for a rotor wire, and then we did rotablation. At this point of time, we were able to take our IVUS catheter, and we saw that the calcium was indeed 270 degrees, and so we stepped up our burr from 1.25 to a 1.5 burr. The imaging also told us that the LCX osteo was free of any significant disease, which was great news for us. So we opted for a provisional stenting, took a drug-eluting stent 4 by 34 millimeters from the left vein ostium to LAD, deployed it, did post-dilatation, and IVUS showed that the LCX looked fine, and so did the angiogram. Now, this fourth case, an 82-year-old, very frail lady, triple vessel disease, heavily calcified vessels, refused surgery because of the multiple comorbidities. Here we staged the procedure because of a frailty. We did the RCF first, and after that, only after 4 to 5 days later, did we tackle the left side. And in the left side, we knew from the very beginning that she would not tolerate any prolonged procedure, and this calcium would require rotablation, and also this bifurcation lesion was so complex it would require an upfront double stent technique. So we did rotablation from left knee to LCA. We did rotablation of the LAD also. After rotablation of both these vessels, for the LAD we had to step up our burr. When we took our IVUS, and we saw that we had to go for a 1.5 burr. And then subsequently we did a double stent technique, a TK crush, and the result was quite satisfactory. Now this fifth case, this was a gentleman who underwent CABG in 2000, and he had been given venous grafts to his OM, PDA, as well as to the LAD. Now in 2010, his venous graft, the LAD is still patent. However, he developed ISR to his, he developed a lesion in his venous graft to the OM, and that was stented. Now, unfortunately, not the vessel was the, sorry, I got it wrong. So the venous graft was totally occluded, so they had to treat the native vessel. And so they did a PCI from left knee to OM, but unfortunately, the lesion was not properly prepared, and as you can see, it was dogwood, and the stent did not open up properly. They left it in that way, and soon, 10 months down the road, the patient developed in-stent stenosis. So this patient was now came to our hospital, and here we did rotablation of the stent with a 1.5 burr. After that, we did a thorough job of pre-dilatation, first with a 3.5 NC balloon, and we went up to high pressure. only then did we take our stent, we deployed it, did post-dilatation, we did possible optimization in the 4x8 NC balloon, and this was the final result. So preparing a calcified lesion is crucial before deciding to put in a stent here. Now, this last piece is about what do you do if your lesion is so calcified that even your wire won't go. And that was the case for this CTO lesion. This was a patient who had a LAD CTO that was heavily calcified. We opened the CTO with a compressed flow wire. After that, obviously, we wanted to take a fine cross down so that we could remove the compressed flow wire and take our rotor wire and do rotation to this heavily calcified vessel. Unfortunately, a microcatheter would not work. So we tried, changed the microcatheter and took a caravel. It would not work. We then tried to take a very low profile 1.25 below and try to create a sliver of space there. Our balloon would not go. We tried with the traumas. We did anchor balloon technique to the LCX. Nothing would work. So there we were stuck with the wire, a compressed flow wire in our CTO that is managed to open, but our microcatheter won't go. So what we did is we parked our microcatheter at the very proximal part of the CTO. We removed the compressed flow wire and then we took our rotor wire, and with gentle maneuver we were able to take our rotor wire through the lumen that had been created by the compressed flow. We then started doing rotation, and after that we stented this vessel, and actually we've done like 8 to 9 cases like this, and we like to call this our LHF rota technique. So now about our experience. Actually throughout we started doing rotation on a regular basis since 2007, and at present we've done up to December of last year around 300, and we've done a total of 318 cases, and of these cases the vast majority were male patients. I think my pictures are not moving, the slides are not coming, so I'm sorry about that. And the slides are not moving here again. So actually in 86% of the patients, we tackled very long diffuse lesions, and only 40% was it short lesions. And the average length of the lesions was 46 millimeters. So anyway, we managed all of the vast majority of patients, and our overall base is around 15%. So that's about it about us, and now the slides are totally jammed, but at least I got to show you some cases. So that's us with rotablation at National Heart Foundation. Thank you.
From the panelists, this congratulations to these cases, really, that's the case. I just wonder, I mean, in some case, like very tight lesion of the left main, unprotected left main, I think it's very risky also. So do you think that systemic support could be something, not must, but I mean, can prevent it?
That would be a good thing to have some kind of support, and usually we keep our IABP on a standby. Another thing that I found very helpful is that like if the patient has a good ejection fraction, life a lot easier. Never ever do, I mean, try to avoid doing rotablation, at least in the first 100 cases in a patient with poor ejection fraction, especially if you don't have any ventricular support system. And another thing is, even if the ejection fraction is good, what we do is that we keep adrenaline, we dilute it And if we see a bit of hypotension, we just remove that. And in a rotor solution, another thing we do is we do antinudin as well. Yes, yes, we can. Anti-diabetic standby.
Nicely and brilliant edition. Really is a good edition, but my question is that in case of focal eccentric lesion, calcium moving in the leg, which technology or which device will start first? I will do the eccentric lesion eccentric nodule.
With a nodule, you would always go with a rotablator because IVL doesn't really work.
So my question is, can we extraction atherectomy, is it possible transmural extraction atherectomy device? Extraction device. Honestly, or all that very big cases. Did you do any sort of imaging before doing rota?
What?
Before doing rota, did you assess with the
imaging? But actually, that's the crux of the matter. In many cases, when the vessel is very heavily calcified, you're unable to take your imaging devices down. So maybe after you've done rota, it gets a lot easier. But for very heavily calcified vessels which do require atherectomy, in many instances, the imaging devices will not go down.
Which imaging modalities you prefer to do? Like IVUS, you have both the, I think, right?
Yes. IVUS is always quicker.
For assessing calcium,
with OCT, and OCT is very soft catheter, so you know if it's a heavily calcified vessel and you're pushing and prodding. But today in our life case we did use OCT, but only after we had done rotablation and we knew we had enough space. But for me, I prefer IVUS because it's very quick to do. But OCT, yes, you get great pictures.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Regarding systemic support with adrenaline, you prefer to add nitrate also?
In our cocktail rota solution, yes, we have heparin, verapamil, and nitrates if required, yes.
Thank you, madam. Madam, it's a learning session. We have fellows and we are interviewees. What is your suggestion or message to us before using rota? How we assess the lesion to use the rota, and what are the precautions we should we need to before rota?
First of all, the rota should not be taken lightly. You should have a proper setup, and obviously, it's all in the books, right? You do pegging motions, the speed, and the runs should be short. The acceleration should not be more than 5,000. All that kind of stuff is precautionary. And first of all, make sure that your fluid is running, right? That is absolutely important. The fluid should be running. You should have enough gas in the cylinder. Small things, but which make a difference. Thank you. You have a question?
Professor Fazlur Rahman, sir, your comment, please.
Deep calcification. Well, actually, the thing is, the superficial calcium will prevent your stent from expanding. The deep calcium usually will not do that. So, if you have a lot of superficial calcium, that will prevent the stent from expanding. Thank you.